Hey guys, Drifter here. Welcome to Battlefield 3 In-Depth. In today's episode, I'm going to be reviewing the co-op unlocked Engineer Carbine, the SG553. The first thing that we're going to talk about is its damage. It deals 25 damage up close, but drops off to 14.3 damage at a distance. This is a very common damage for carbines in Battlefield 3. They all basically do this. And yeah, I'm still saying carbines because the dictionary says I say it that way. I know a lot of you guys say carbines. What this means for you guys is that it's going to take between 4 and 7 shots to kill, depending on your range, or if you're getting headshots, that could be 2 to 4 headshots because you get double damage for the headshots. While this damage seems very, very low, I would like to again reiterate that this is normal damage for engineer weapons in Battlefield 3, and with the exception of the SCAR H and ACRW, every single engineer weapon in Battlefield 3 has this exact same damage profile. This weapon boasts a rate of fire of 700 RPM. This is medium to low compared to other engineer weapons in Battlefield 3. It's not quite middle of the pack, but it lags just barely behind the middle of the pack. When you combine this moderate to low rate of fire with very average damage, you'll find that it has a moderate, maybe even a low time to kill, but I decided to put it at moderate time to kill, so don't expect to be able to hose people down very quickly with this weapon. The SG553 has the same standard drop range that other engineer carbines in Battlefield 3 has. It drops off from its maximum damage at 8 meters, and it doesn't hit its minimum until all the way out at 50 meters. Very normal there. It has slightly low bullet speed and range. This one actually kind of surprised me. It shoots a little bit faster than the SCAR H, but it's not very fast compared to the other carbines. So your muzzle velocity is a little bit low on this one, and your bullet range is also a little bit low, but let me reiterate, the bullet range is very, very rarely a factor, and the range at which the bullets in this game will actually disappear is well beyond the range at which you'll actually be able to hit people. The reload time on this carbine is, again, very average. That's going to be the word of the day with the SG553, and it kind of sums up this whole review. The reload time is very average, not fast, and not slow. It does, however, have a very high horizontal recoil. It has the most horizontal recoil, or left-right wobble, which is by far the most difficult to correct, of any of the engineer weapons in Battlefield 3, with the exception of the A91. The A91 beats it out a little bit. It has medium to low vertical recoil. The vertical recoil is actually very, very controllable. That's what makes this weapon such a good candidate for a grip attachment, as the grip helps mitigate that very, very annoying horizontal recoil. It also has a somewhat low first shot kick multiplier. It's a little bit lower than the rest of the engineer carbines, so if you feel like putting this weapon in select fire and trying to use it at ultra long ranges, it's really not a bad candidate for that. When it comes time to suggest attachments for this weapon, the weapon was so average that I couldn't find any attachment that made it particularly exceptional. I think the foregrip is a good idea because it does have somewhat high horizontal recoil, but it's not so high that you can't control it, and it's not like extremely high compared to some of the other ones. So I like foregrip, but really you can use anything on this weapon. I'm running it with foregrip and laser sight, foregrip and suppressor. Bipod isn't bad, heavy barrel isn't bad. The problem with this weapon is that it's just so extremely average. This is the most average engineer weapon that you could possibly dream up. I have no idea why they put this in the co-op unlock package. I don't know why you would ever struggle so hard to unlock this gun, because it's just so damn average. It's so average I never use it. I prefer guns that have strengths and weaknesses and specialties and a niche that I can play to. It's not a bad gun. It's really not. It's just so average I don't care about it. One of the things the SG553 does have going for it is it does have a burst fire mode. I haven't touched on this too much, but not a lot of the engineer carbines you can really put in burst fire. It's pretty much fully automatic or single fire, or it'll be like the M4, they'll be split and have a burst fire version. This one you can just swap into burst fire if you want to, but I never found the weapon to be accurate enough, especially at range, to warrant swapping it into burst fire when I can just shoot it just as fast, fully automatic, hose people down. The last bit of this commentary is not going to be a shout out like any of the other Battlefields, just a tiny little rant for me to help you understand things. I'm really not hating on the SG553 here. I'm not telling you it's a bad gun. I'm not telling you not to use it. What I'm saying is that it's just very average. When it comes to balance in Battlefield, I would like to say that this game is actually very balanced. There aren't that many overpowered things in it, especially compared to stuff like Counter-Strike and Call of Duty, which I know I'm comparing against all the time here. But the opposite of that is, if everything is very, very balanced, then you find that you have a lot of guns clustered in the middle that are very, very similar to each other, and just a few outlier style weapons, and most everybody's going to use the outlier weapons and avoid the middle of the pack or average ones. This weapon is average, and when I do Battlefield 3 in-depth reviews, I'm going to tend to talk about the outlier weapons, the ones that I think are really good or the ones I think you should focus on, and I'm going to kind of avoid the boring middle-of-the-pack ones like the SG553 here. However, I did review this one because it was a fan favorite. There were a lot of requests in my inbox to review this weapon, a lot of comments about it, so I figured I'd go ahead and review it and get the information out there. I hope you like it. I hope it didn't ruffle your feathers with my SG review here. And lastly, yes, I'm going to have PC gameplay on the next in-depth on this channel. Not only am I going to have PC gameplay, but I'm going to be playing a map that's not Operation Metro. There's been a lot of Operation Metro and a lot of console on this channel. Next episode, I'm promising something on the PC, and definitely not Operation Metro. I'm thinking I might do a pistol review, or I might do a light machine gun review. Let me know what you'd prefer. Drifter out.